First, I'd like to share with you my understanding of the invention and innovation, which many people have been using interchangeably. Because there is a difference. I mean, both invention and innovation, I'll speak about them in a minute, address something new of benefits. But if I look deeper into invention, it is the creation of a new discovery of something new. Could be research, could be technology, could be a product. Innovation, however, is not creation of a new discovery, but it is integration of existing components with a new insight. These components could be human capital, could be organization processes, could be systems, could be technology, but they are existing. None of these components are new. But the assembly of these components in a new way produces such a value to someone or some entity. Some people could be innovative. You could be crossing the road and you find that there is a better way to cross the road that is more fluid to people, to passengers, to cars. This could be an example of innovation on the spot. Some people, like housewives, are very much innovative in the way they do cooking. They could come up with something new by integrating existing food components, but in a different new way. So innovation, you may not know it, but you could be doing it every day. You could be doing it in simple manners. What I will discuss with you is some people develop skills to become innovative. Some people develop experience to become innovative. Some people are born innovative. They see the integration of existing components in a way that no one else had seen. And therefore, they come by such new innovative product or services or what have you. What I'm going to share with you is some examples from the industry, just to show you that innovation may not require big funding. It may not require technology. It may not require change in the status quo of an organization. If I flip to the first slide, is it? I brought those examples, and it's only one slide, don't worry, it's a bit crowded. Back in 1993, IBM had a year of losses, $5 billion on its profit and loss statement. It was a big surprise to the marketplace. And if you recall the company in the 60s, they had invented the mainframe as a general purpose computers, multitasking computers, and they helped the business really to jump very, very high. In the 70s, mid-range system. By the end of the 70s, personal computers and so on. So the company was the leader in information technology. But then everybody else had worked in information technology. Everybody else competed with cheaper products. And they had this problem. They stepped back as a management team. They looked, what do they have? And they found that the human capital is the biggest asset that they have. They have industry specialists, they have consultants, they have engineers, they have methodologies, they have standards, practices, everything. So they said, okay, what if we integrate all this and create a new unit and we call it IBM Global Services? And all of a sudden, such losses disappeared. All of a sudden, the company transformed itself from a hardware company and a software company into a services company. Very successful, very profitable. So that's an example of innovation because they just integrated the existing component with a new insight. Now, it didn't cost them much. All it costed them is the idea and the integration and the execution. The other thing, another example, is Toshiba. If we recall, at the beginning, late 90s and early 2000s, Toshiba laptops were the best in the marketplace. The best meaning what? Too much sales going on. And if you recall, with such laptops, they have 1-year warranty, 3-year warranty. There are problems. There are repairs requirements. The turnaround time of repair is 8 days and customers are not happy. So what they did is Toshiba approached United Parcel Services and asked them, okay, Customer go and drop the laptop and you bring it to us. What if instead of you bring it to us, we come to UPS, we take a small booth, we set up a repair center there, a small repair cell. So when the laptop arrives, we fix it, we reconfigure it, we upgrade it, we turn it down to the customer, and the process turnaround time was reduced by 50%. Here is an innovation by integration, by teaming up. You change the process. By changing the process, you bring a value in a way no one else had done it before. Dell. Until the late 1980s, the normal way to sell PCs was face-to-face salespeople. So Dell said, this is very expensive, and customer would like to have a cheap product, less expensive product. So they created, you may have heard about it, called Direct. So customers were calling Direct. Dell was pre-prepared with make-to-plan type of products in the warehouse, but also configurable PCs. So they were able to respond quickly to the customer online. So a telesale sitting on the phone was able to handle and move the product faster and at less expensive. So again, this is an example on a change of the structure and role. Of course, when the e-commerce came up by the late 1990s, Dell was the first one to reap the benefit of e-commerce because they were already proven success on remote sale and remote delivery. If I look at IKEA, IKEA was established back in 1943 or something. And they have always came up with new ideas and implemented them. Until lately, if the do-it-yourself or type of furniture, assemble it yourself, is not new. It's there since 1920s. But what they did, they changed the configuration of the showroom. So the customers are encouraged to go through a one-way path through the showroom so they see all the products in the showroom. And this encourages customers to take more than what they already have in plan. And by the way, when they finish out of the showroom, they find a card, they use it, they go to the warehouse, and in the warehouse they have open shelf hall. And in the open shelf hall, they can collect all the product that they have chosen before, and they go and pay. So the product is less expensive simply because they changed the process and simply because they changed the structure in a way no one else had done it before. It didn't cost them to invent anything new. Probably cost them a little bit of an investment, but it was there for the benefit of the customer and at the end of the day, the benefit for the owners of the company. You heard about e-business. I don't call it e-business, I call it C-business. Because it enables governments, companies, learning institutes to provide continuous service 24/7. I don't know why they call it e-business. It should be C-business, not e-business. And this is a type of innovation where you merge the electronic ways of delivery along with your product set. And examples are humongous. On the performance, how many of you, show of hands, have traveled on Airbus on an A380?
Not yet.
Not yet? Amazing, isn't it? The performance of the plane had improved simply by reducing the weight of all the components. Instead of using copper cables, they use fiber optics. Instead of using multiple servers, because planes have many, many servers over many gadgets, they use single servers. So program-to-program communication became on the same server, became almost real time. And this helped the performance of the plane. From many, many, many improvements, just by putting all these improvements together, they have the flagship, the A380, and development continues still. But the performance is second to none and outspoken. On the Microsoft, this is a very bizarre or way of integration of existing components. Back in 1970s, the end of 1970s, IBM had developed DOS, Disk Operating System. But IBM thought, we are the people working on big mainframes, mid-range. PCs is is very small and very expensive to face customer and try to sell PCs at such low cost. So they outsourced the development or the upgrade of the disk operating system to a small company called Microsoft. Microsoft was very clever when they got the assignment. In the scope of work, they completed that we will deliver such a system. We'll call it MS-DOS. But by the way, there's a legal term. You see here? The integration of legal together with the services scope of work. And the legal term says Microsoft will co-own such code, although IBM paid for it. But Microsoft developing it will co-own and will sell it in its name for a period of 10 years. And so it happened that Microsoft started to sell it for the consumer marketplace, where IBM started to go to critical mission big PCs that were very expensive, only acquired by the big petroleum companies, oil companies, and so on. So who got the market at the end of the day? Just by integrating of legal terms along with the scope of work, Microsoft got it. Very simple. Amazon, I tried at Amazon myself, the authoring part of Amazon. I wrote a book. Of course, if you write a book, you go to a printing press, and they help you to format the book. They help you to pre-flight test the book. They help you to proofread the book. They help you a lot of many things. But this is a manual task that takes weeks, if not months. What Amazon had come with is the integration of software tools that would make such a process interactive and online. So while they are in the US, I'm here in Dubai, I could use this process to produce a final book, even the proofread. I don't need them to ship me a hard copy. It could be browsed and approved online. So you see the integration of computer software, of networking, of processes that they have would enable an author to publish a book in a matter of days instead of weeks and months. Nespresso, we heard about Nespresso's success. Not only that they have internet call centers, showrooms that they sell their products. Lately, they have delivered to the malls a complete setup, a 3x3 machine that will enable you walking in the mall. It's unmanned machine. And you can choose from any type of coffee. You can press, you can get it in 20 seconds, you can test it, you can place the order. Nothing of this, nobody else had done it. But this had made landsliding success in coming to consumer and bringing the product to their doorstep, if I may call it so, and real. It's not only internet that you see something, or you taste it, you smell it, and you order it. So ideas like this would make Nespresso sales, of course, zoom and flourish until those of us who had acquired PCs, most of us, we find in most of the cases Intel inside. It started some 20 years ago, or maybe 25 years ago. But the integration of the branding on the box, on the laptop, on the PC, had made two benefits. One, to Intel itself, because now everybody would be associated with the brand Intel, but also everybody had a confidence in the brand that drove everyone to buy a PC that uses such a brand. So the manufacturer gained, the distributor gained, and of course, only by having Intel inside on the product, on the final product. Very simple thing, but it helped at the end of the day. Finally, I hope I haven't exceeded my time. Zayed University, about 12 years ago, they came to realize that the young graduates out of the colleges, out of UAE University or Zayed University or the colleges in the UAE, the young graduates don't have yet the hands-on experience. And what happened when they join work in a government department or a bank or a company is that they are assigned to someone to coach and mentor them. Now, the best people working in such government entity are busy running the business. So those who are assigned to look after the young ones, the new hired, are not necessarily the best. So you can imagine the resultant productivity of the young ones joining the entity is not the best. So Zand University said, okay, how can we make them business ready? Okay, we have another problem. Governments, entities, they have issues to restructure, to re-engineer processes, to develop policies, to automate systems. You know, all these are issues. So on one hand, we have issues regarding human capital, the young ones. On the other hand, we have business issues that we need to improve. So that university said, okay, why don't we partner with the leading consulting company, services provision, to provide the type of business consulting, restructure, balanced scorecard, performance improvement, all of this stuff. But at the time of delivery of such a project, we get new hires to work as a journeyman under the supervision of such consultants. They got assignments, they are looked after by gurus in the subject matter, and by the end of the project, be it 6 months, 9 months, or 12 months, guess what? The final project is completed and is benefiting the customer, but not only the final product. Maybe it's a new business process or a new policy or a new automated system. But along with the delivery of the final product, you have business-ready young Emirati graduates who became certified in the subject matter and who move along with the final product to join the entity. So it's again the human factor. The integration of the human factor with the business consulting, both together to resolve or to hit two birds with one stone. The development of the skill and experience of young graduates, as well as the improvement of the business delivery of big organizations. So I hope I have given some examples. The first part of the example is about the composition. But one important thing at the end of the day I like to leave you with is no pain, no gain. Unless you have an issue. The issue could be a pressure from outside or pressure from inside. You try to excel and beat and compete and win and deliver. So unless you have this drive being applied on you or driven from inside, there will be no gain. So the most important and the first stage, and I'm sure my colleagues will drill on it further, is to identify the real pain and the reasons and be able to deploy those reasons among the team who will be working on finding a solution so that everybody gets a piece of the pain and in his own role. And then together, collectively, they will bring ideas and so on and converge towards something, hopefully, it is integration of something new with an insight. I'm not sure if questions is now or afterwards, but that's it. Yeah. Thank you.